Welcome back. This is the Massive Passive Income Show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Colter, and we're going to be talking about market and market trends and how we can keep tabs on what might be impacting us from a larger market standpoint, macroeconomics, and then our local market, more of the microeconomics.
Yeah, I just saw a reel this morning talking about the market here locally in Idaho, and one of the things he talked about is house sales were down 1% in December, and they're up 1% here in January, and because of the 1% bump a little bit, it's kind of stagged out because of the 7% interest rate, which is interesting. Even though it's up a little bit, 7%. And he's like, if you want your house to sell right now, it's got to show well and it's got to be priced right. But then the big thing that surprised me was over 600 homes were pulled off the market in the last 3 months. Over 600 homes. That's crazy. That means people that have had their houses for sale and they're like, I don't want to sell my house anymore until the market turns around.
Yeah.
Which will do what? You pull that many houses off the market, people still want to buy houses. What's going to happen?
Well, it'll increase the demand because the supply has gone down.
Exactly. And if things start pushing that interest rate down, then it'll be good. That's why people are like, man, I wish we would have bought houses, a whole bunch of houses, 5 years ago. Buy a house now, because you'll say that in 6 months, or you'll say that 2 years from now. It's so true.
Yeah, the best time to plant a tree is yesterday.
So what did you find? You found some stuff today you were talking about earlier about the market and maybe market trends. Maybe we need to start looking for.
Yeah, so this didn't come from social media. This also comes from talking to people that are in the trenches and doing, they're making investments. And I talked specifically to a group that is investing in the energy sector. Well, the energy sector that they're investing in is not geothermal, it's not windmills. They're investing in industrial warehouses that have either been abandoned or they're vacant, and they can step in and start to utilize the space that has been, occupied by some big shop earlier, but they have a lot of electrical power that's coming in. And well, what are some of the initiatives that are happening with this current administration?
Yeah,
they're focused on AI.
Yeah, and it's going to take a lot.
AI does not require a little amount of power.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have these AI data centers that have to go up, computers, you're going to have cooling fans. You're going to have high CFM cooling fans.
Yeah.
And so all of that adds up to, you've got a huge shift in focus on how we need to consume energy and how we utilize it, and then what is going to be demanded and offered to the open market.
And then the other thing he's going to do, he wants to drill, baby, drill. So what is that going to happen to the different places that the stuff was shut down? If he reopens it, some of those areas that he's going to reopen those in the next 3-6 months might be a great place to look at, maybe investing, finding out what the trends are there, what's happening. I had a group come through Idaho Falls one day, and I used to have a radio program, and he called and says, hey, we want to look at some real estate. And I'm like, why are you in town looking at real estate? And he says, because of Starbucks being built in Idaho Falls. And he goes, do you know how much research Starbucks does before they put a Starbucks in a town? And I'm like, I have no idea. And he goes, tons. So he says, we looked at the data, what they find, and we found out if Starbucks is coming into a town, we want to invest in that town. Same group said about Walmart. He said, Walmart's building Walmart in, and he said, Idaho Falls, we're building 2. They have built one, building the other one. He goes, we go in, we start building fourplex, we start buying land, we start buying up for rental properties, because the research they do, they want to capitalize on what they know, and so they buy and they follow those trends that's happening. So, So the big thing is just be educated, be aware of what's happening in your town. If there's some big company coming in out of town, if there's something happening nationwide, it's always good to be informed, follow those trends, because man, if you can get in front of those trends, there's some money to be made. And it could be real estate, it could be warehouses, it could be land, it could be all sorts of things. More money was made in the gold rush selling axes and picks than actually gold, right?
But that's where you want to pay attention to the trends, right? Yep. And it really sometimes can just be a matter of driving around town or looking out your front window and saying, what is happening?
Yeah.
And just pay attention.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. Pay attention to what matters and also what you're comfortable investing in. And you can find information out there. It just takes a little bit of brain power and common sense, and we can start to combine, the little factors that can add up to saying, this is the kind of decision that makes sense because you have a trend toward that being valuable.
Love it. Love it. Thanks for tuning in.